I stood in my kitchen staring at the text of my phone like it was written in gold. Ryan, Heart, Mom, family barbecue this Saturday, our new place, 4 p.m. Bring nothing, just yourself. We miss you so much. Sophia keeps saying it's been too long. My hands shook. 2 years, 2 whole years since he moved out, and suddenly I only got short replies, missed calls, and excuses. I read it again and again until tears blurred the screen. My boy wanted me there. I typed back fast before he could change his mind. I'll be there, sweetheart. Can't wait to see you both. I spent the next 3 days like a teenager. I got my hair trimmed, bought a new blue dress he always said looked pretty on me, and picked the most expensive bottle of red wine at the store. I even wrapped a little photo album of his childhood pictures as a housewarming gift. Saturday morning, I could barely eat. By 3:30, I was already in the car, heart racing like I was going on a first date. The new house was beautiful. Big white fence, roses everywhere. The front gate was open, music and laughter floating from the backyard. I smiled so wide, my cheeks hurt. I didn't want to walk in empty-handed, so I carried the wine and the wrapped album in my arms. I decided to surprise them from the side path instead of ringing the bell. That was my mistake. I was maybe 10 steps from the corner of the house when Sophia's voice cut to the air, sharp as glass. Why is she even still alive? Honestly, Ryan, she's just a burden now. Everything would be so much easier if she just, you know. My feet stopped moving. My heart slammed against my ribs so hard I thought I would drop right there. I pressed myself against the wall, hidden by the tall hedge. I couldn't breathe. Ryan laughed. My son laughed. "Sophia, lower your voice, babe," he said, sounding annoyed but amused. "She'll be here in like 20 minutes. Don't be dramatic." "I'm not being dramatic," Sophia snapped. "Your dad left everything to her. Everything. We're drowning in mortgage and she's sitting on millions, acting all sad and lonely. I'm tired of pretending to care." "Shh, someone will hear you," Ryan said, but his tone wasn't angry. It was the same tone he used when she wanted expensive bags, and he said yes. "Look, just play nice today. Once we get power of attorney sorted, we can move her to that cheap home in the suburbs. She won't even notice." Sophia snorted. "If she lives that long." The wine bottle slipped from my fingers and shattered on the stone path. Red spread everywhere like blood. A piece of glass sliced my palm, but I didn't feel it. My gift box fell next, the ribbon coming undone. I stared at the mess, at the childhood pictures now soaking in wine, and something inside me cracked open. I should have turned around. I should have driven away and never looked back. But I didn't. I bent down, picked up the biggest piece of broken glass and pressed it into my bleeding hand until the pain was real. Then I stood up, wiped my face, and walked right around the corner with a smile I didn't know I still had. "Surprise!" I called out, voice bright and warm. "I'm early. Hope that's okay." Sophia's face went white. Ryan dropped his beer. I kept smiling, walked straight to them, and hugged my son so tight he couldn't see my eyes. "I missed you so much, baby," I whispered against his shoulder. And inside my head, a new voice, quiet and cold, answered for the first time. So did I. Now the missing stops. I stepped into the backyard like I was walking onto a stage. The smell of grilled meat hit me. Music played. People laughed. All of it felt fake now. "Mom!" Ryan recovered first. He ran over and hugged me again. tighter this time, like he was trying to squeeze the truth out of me. "You scared us. We didn't hear the bell." I let him hold me. I even patted his back. "I came early because I couldn't wait to see my favorite boy," I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. A few cousins cheered. Sophia stood frozen by the grill, spatula in her hand, eyes wide. I turned to her and opened my arms. "Sophia, honey, come here." She walked over like her legs were wood. I pulled her into a hug and kissed her cheek. "You look beautiful. Marriage agrees with you." Her body was stiff. "Thank you, Lena." She tried to smile. It looked painful. Ryan grabbed the broken wine bottle from my hand. He finally noticed the blood. "Mom, your hand." "Oh, that," I laughed, waving it off. "Clumsy me." Dropped the bottle on the path. "Don't worry, the album survived." I held up the wet, wine-stained gift. "Just needs a little cleaning." People rushed over with paper towels and ice. I let them fuss. I smiled. I thanked everyone. Inside, I counted heartbeats. Mia, Sophia's best friend since college, kept staring at me from across the table. She had always been quiet. Today, her eyes looked worried. Dinner started. Ryan put me at the head of the table like I was the guest of honor. I ate slowly, nodding, laughing at every joke. Sophia drank 3 glasses of wine in 20 minutes. "So, Mom," Ryan said, cutting his steak, "how's the house? Too big for one person now, right?" I chewed, swallowed, smiled. "It's quiet without your dad, but I like the space." Sophia jumped in, voice too loud. "We just worry about you, Lena. All alone. What if something happens? Stairs, cooking, memory stuff." I tilted my head. "Memory stuff?" "You know," she waved her hand. "Forgetting things, leaving the stove on. Old people do that." The table went silent. Ryan kicked her under the table, but I saw it. I put my fork down gently. "Sophia, sweetheart, I'm 52, not 90. Everyone laughed nervously. I laughed with them. Later, when the sun went down and the fairy lights came on, Sophia pulled me to the side by the dessert table. She was drunk now, cheeks red. "Lena," she whispered, grabbing my wrist, "we love you. We just want what's best. Your family." I looked down at her hand on my skin. "I know, darling," I said softly. "That's why I came early today. Family should never be late." Her grip tightened. "What?" I leaned closer so only she could hear. "Don't worry about my health, Sophia. I'm stronger than I look." She let go like my skin burned her. Mia appeared beside us, holding 2 slices of cake. "Everything okay?" she asked, eyes on me. "Perfect," I said, taking a plate. "Just catching up with my daughter-in-law." Sophia walked away fast. Ryan watched us from the grill. Sophia walked away fast. Ryan watched us from the grill, phone in his hand. When it was time to leave, Ryan hugged me by my car. "Drive safe, Mom. Text me when you get home, okay?" I kissed his forehead like he was still 8 years old.
Of course, baby. I always do. I got in the car, closed the door, and sat there for a minute. My bloodied hand left prints on the steering wheel. As I pulled away, I looked in the rearview mirror. Sophia was standing at the gate, arms wrapped around herself. Ryan was talking fast into his phone. I smiled the whole drive home. When I walked into my quiet house, I didn't cry. I opened the safe in my bedroom, took out my real will, the one they don't know about, and started making calls. First to my lawyer, then to the private investigator I used when Sophia's ex-boyfriend disappeared with her money 5 years ago. Let the barbecue begin. I was just getting warmed up.
2 days later, my phone rang at 8:17 a.m. Mom? Ryan's voice cracked like he'd been crying. Can we come over? Sophia and I were really worried about you. I was already dressed, coffee in hand. Of course, sweetheart, doors open. They arrived in 20 minutes. Ryan carried a bakery box. Sophia carried fake tears and a tissue. I hugged them both at the door. Ryan's eyes were red. Sophia's mascara was perfect. No streaks. I noticed everything now. We sat at the kitchen table. Sunlight poured in like nothing was wrong. Mom, Ryan started, pushing the box toward me. After the barbecue, we couldn't sleep. You live alone in this huge house. What if you fall? What if you forget your meds? I opened the box. Croissants, my favorite. I'm fine, baby. Sophia reached across and held my hand. Her nails were new, French tips. We love you, Lena. We just want you safe. Ryan found some papers online. Power of attorney, living will. Maybe it's time. I looked at Ryan. You want me to sign my life over to you? He flinched. Not like that. Just so we can help if something happens. I smiled and stood up. Let me get the papers I already have. Be right back. I walked to my study, slow, calm. I knew they'd follow. They always do when they think I'm weak. Sophia stayed in the kitchen, but Ryan came after me like a moth. I pretended to search drawers. He stood behind me, phone in hand. I heard the tiny click of the camera 3 times. I turned fast. What are you taking pictures of, honey? He shoved the phone in his pocket. Nothing. Just sent Sophia a heart emoji. She loves when I do that. I nodded. Of course. Back in the kitchen, I placed a thick folder on the table. Here's my will. You can read it if you want. Sophia's eyes lit up. Ryan opened it too fast. Page after page of legal words. They flipped, hungry. I sipped my coffee and watched. After 5 minutes, Sophia frowned. This says everything goes to the children's hospital, and some woman named Ellen Carter gets the house? Ryan looked at me pale. Mom, when did you change this? I smiled sweetly. The day your father died. He wanted it this way. Sophia's voice went high. Oh, we're your family. I leaned forward. Are you? Silence. I stood up. Thank you for the croissants. Drive safe. Ryan tried one last time at the door. Mom, we're just scared for you. I touched his cheek. I know what scares me now, Ryan. After they left, I called Ellen. Change it back? She asked. No, I said, pouring wine at 11 a.m. Make it worse for them. Add a letter, one they'll only see after I'm gone. Ellen laughed darkly. You're evil when you're hurt. I'm not hurt anymore.
I'm awake. That night, I sat on the patio with the lights off, glass in hand, staring at Dad's empty chair. I raised my drink to the darkness. Your turn to watch, love. They wanted me gone. Let's see how they like being ghosts while I'm still breathing. I finished the bottle and slept better than in years.
My phone started blowing up 3 days later. Ryan, Hart. Mom, answer, please. Ryan, Hart. We're coming over. Ryan, Hart. This isn't funny. I let it ring until voicemail caught it. Then I texted one line. Me, at the hospital. Will call when I can. I turned the phone face down and finished my tea. They arrived in 17 minutes. I heard the car screech, doors slam, Ryan shouting my name before they even reached the porch. I opened the door slowly, wrapped in Dad's old robe, hair unbrushed, eyes red from the onion I'd rubbed 10 minutes earlier. Ryan froze. Mom? What's wrong? Sophia stood behind him, clutching her purse like a shield. I let my voice shake. Come in. Sit. They sat on the edge of the couch like it might bite them. I took a deep breath that sounded wet and painful. The doctor called yesterday. It's pancreatic, stage 4. Ryan made a sound like someone punched him. Sophia's hand flew to her mouth, but her eyes were scanning me, measuring. No, Ryan said, no, no, no. I reached for his hand. Mine was ice cold, on purpose. They give me weeks, maybe 2 months if the chemo works. Sophia finally spoke. Lena, oh my God, why didn't you tell us? I didn't want to ruin your new life, I said, looking straight at her. You've been so busy. Ryan started crying hard, real tears this time. I almost felt bad. Almost. He dropped to his knees in front of me. We'll fix this. We'll get the best doctors. Money doesn't matter. I touched his hair like when he was small. Money always matters, baby. Sophia sat beside me, took my other hand. Whatever you need, anything, we're here now. I nodded weakly. There is one thing. Name it, they said together. I'm tired of lawyers. I want to simplify everything. Put the house in your name now, the accounts too, so you don't have to wait. Ryan's head snapped up. Mom, no, keep fighting. I am fighting, I cut in gently, but I want peace. Please. Sophia squeezed my fingers. Of course, we'll call the lawyer today. I closed my eyes like I was dizzy. Thank you. I knew I could count on family. They stayed 4 hours. Ryan called specialists. Sophia made soup I didn't eat. They tucked me into bed like I was already dying. When they finally left, promising to return first thing tomorrow with papers, I waited 10 minutes. Then I got up, showered, poured wine, and called Ellen. I said they bit. Ellen laughed so hard she coughed. How long are you milking this? She asked. Until the house is in their name and the mortgage is killing them. Then I rise from the dead. You're terrifying, she said, proud. I walked to the mirror, wiped the fake tears, and smiled at the woman staring back. No, I told her, I'm fair. I opened my laptop and booked a 3-week trip to Italy. I'd never told anyone about first class, non-refundable. Let them sign papers while I'm drinking wine in Tuscany. I raised my glass to the empty room. 2 miracles, I said. Then I started packing. I came back from Italy, tanned, rested, and 20 pounds lighter from all the walking, and 0 guilt. They didn't know I was home. I wanted to see the show with my own eyes. I parked 2 streets away and walked. The for sale sign was already gone from my lawn. In its place, a bright red banner that screamed, "Sold. Thanks for your trust." I smiled so wide my cheeks hurt. I used the back door with the key they hadn't changed yet. The house smelled like new paint and desperation. Every light was on, boxes everywhere. Their furniture looked cheap against my walls. I heard them in the kitchen. Sophia's voice first. "Hi, I'm panicked. The bank called again. We're 2 months behind already. How did your mom have so many bills?" Ryan snapped back. "She never paid anything on time. And now the taxes? Did you see the property tax? We can't afford this." I leaned against the doorway and watched. Sophia was crying into a stack of papers. "We have to sell. We have no choice." Ryan slammed his hand on the counter. "We just bought it at market value. If we sell now, we lose everything. Everything." I cleared my throat. They spun around like I was a ghost. I lifted my sunglasses slowly. "Hi, kids. Miss me?" Ryan's mouth opened, closed, opened again. "Mom, you're alive?" "Disappointed?" I asked softly. Sophia dropped the papers. They scattered like leaves. I flipped inside, heels clicking on my own marble floor. Italy was lovely. The doctors there said my cancer vanished. A miracle, they called it. Ryan found his voice. "You lied? You faked cancer?" I shrugged. "You taught me how easy it is to lie to someone you want something from." Sophia nudged forward. "This is fraud. We'll sue." I pulled the new deed from my purse and waved it. "Actually, it's not. You bought the house from the trust I created. The trust that still owns the mortgage. The one that just raised the interest rate to 18% because you missed 2 payments?" Ryan went gray. "You can't." "I can, and I did. Foreclosure starts in 30 days unless you pay $280,000. Cash." Sophia screamed. "We don't have that." I smiled. "I know." I walked past them to the living room, ran my fingers over the couch I paid for. "You have until the end of the month to move out. I already have new tenants, a lovely doctor couple. They pay on time." Ryan grabbed my arm. "Mom, please, we're family." I looked down at his hand until he let go. "Family," I repeated, tasting the word. Funny. I remember standing behind a hedge, holding a broken bottle of wine bleeding, while my family talked about how much easier life would be if I died. Silence. I turned to leave. At the door, I paused. "Oh, one more thing," I said. "The Children's Hospital sent me a thank you letter. Your old college fund, the one Dad and I saved for 30 years. I donated it last week. They named a wing after you, Ryan. Isn't that sweet?" Sophia made a sound like a wounded animal. I walked out into the sunlight. Behind me, something crashed, then another thing. Then Ryan started crying the way he did when he was 5 and lost his favorite bear. Only this time, I wasn't coming back to find it for him. I didn't plan to destroy them in public. I just wanted one last piece of proof. Mia, Sophia's quiet best friend, had texted me the night I came back from Italy. "Can we meet alone? I can't do this anymore." We met at the little cafe near the hospital. She looked like she hadn't slept in weeks. Her hands shook around the coffee cup. "I recorded everything," she whispered, sliding a USB drive across the table. "The barbecue? Every time they talked about you after. The day they celebrated signing the house papers. Sophia laughing about how you'd be dead soon anyway. I'm sorry, Mrs. Carter. I was scared to speak up." I closed my fingers around the drive. "Why now?" "Because they're trying to borrow money from my parents," she said, eyes wet. "They told everyone you died in Italy and left them bankrupt. They're selling the cancer story again. I can't let them keep using you." I reached over and squeezed her hand. "Thank you, Mia." That night, I sat in my study, my real study, the one they never found, and watched every file. The barbecue audio was clearest. Sophia's voice, Ryan's laugh, the exact words that cut my heart out. Then there were newer clips. Them on the couch, drunk, counting money they thought was coming. Sophia saying, "Once the old hag is cremated, we flip the house and move to Miami." Ryan toasting, "To dead moms and fat bank accounts." I didn't cry. I felt cold, clean, sharp. I called my lawyer Ellen at 2 a.m. "Post it," I said. "Everything. Anonymous account. Tag every family member, every friend, every coworker. Title it exactly this. My son and his wife discuss how much better life would be if I died." Then I did them a favor. Ellen hesitated. "Lena, this will end them, socially, professionally, forever." I smiled at the screen frozen on Ryan's laughing face. Good. By morning, it was everywhere. I watched the numbers climb from my second phone. 10K views, 50K, 200K. Comments poured in like acid. "Who raised this monster?" Jail, straight to jail. "That poor mother." Ryan's boss texted him to take personal leave. Sophia's boutique clients canceled appointments in waves. I made pancakes and ate them slowly while refreshing. At 11:14 a.m., my real phone rang. Ryan. I answered on speaker. "Mom," his voice was shredded. "Take it down, please. They're saying I should be fired. Sophia can't leave the house. People are outside with cameras." I buttered another pancake. "How does it feel, Ryan, being judged by strangers for words you actually said?" "It was just talk. We were stressed. We didn't mean it." "You meant every word. You just never thought I'd hear them." Sophia grabbed the phone. I heard her sobbing, "You evil bitch! You're ruining our lives." "No, darling," I said. "You ruined yours the day you wished me dead for money." I hung up. 2 hours later, Mia called. "They're at my parents' house begging," she said. "My dad threw them out, told them never to come back." I poured orange juice. Good. That night, the video hit 2 million views. Someone added sad piano music and slow motion of me hugging Ryan at the barbecue while their voices played over it. The internet crowned me a legend. I went to bed early. Before sleep, I opened the old photo album, the one that got soaked in wine, and turned to the picture of 5-year-old Ryan asleep on my chest. I touched his little face. "I loved you perfectly. You just stopped deserving it." Then I closed the book and turned off the light. Tomorrow would be worse for them. I was counting on it. I woke up to silence. For the first time in weeks, no notifications, no ringing phones, just birds outside my window. Then the doorbell rang. 3 hard presses. I opened it in my robe. A sheriff's deputy stood there with an envelope. "Mrs. Lena Carter?" "That's me." "You've been served." I took the papers, thanked him, closed the door, and laughed so hard I had to sit on the floor. Ryan and Sophia were suing me for intentional infliction of emotional distress and invasion of privacy. They wanted $10 million and the video taken down. I called Ellen while still on the carpet. "They're suing me," I said, wheezing. Ellen snorted. "Let them.
Discovery is going to be beautiful. 2 hours later, I was dressed and driving to the courthouse to file my counterclaim. Defamation, because they told half the city I died of cancer. Fraud, because fake grief, fake tears, fake everything. I asked for every penny they had left and the house they still hadn't paid for. The clerk stamped it with a loud thunk that felt like music. By evening, the news picked it up. Local mother countersues son and daughter-in-law after viral betrayal video. Comments went wild again. Get them, Queen! Courtroom popcorn ready! I treated myself to dinner alone at the nice Italian place downtown. The owner recognized me, refused my card, said, "On the house, signora, for justice." I slept like a baby. The next morning, Ryan showed up at 7 a.m. alone. He looked like he hadn't showered in days. Beard patchy, eyes red shot. He fell to his knees on my porch the second I opened the door. "Mom, please drop the countersuit. We'll drop ours. We'll leave the state. Just make it stop." I leaned against the door frame. "You want mercy?" "Yes," he whispered. I crouched so we were eye level. "Where was my mercy when I stood bleeding behind that hedge holding your childhood pictures in broken glass?" He looked away. I stood up. "Court date is 6 weeks. Bring a toothbrush. Orange suits you." I closed the door. At noon, Sophia tried next. She came with flowers and mascara rivers. "I'm pregnant," the second I opened the door. I stared at her stomach. Flat. "Congratulations," I said. "Tell the baby grandma says hi from the winning side." I shut the door again. That afternoon, Mia sent me a screenshot. Sophia had posted an ultrasound picture on her private Instagram with the caption, "Even monsters can't take this joy from us." Except the ultrasound was dated 2022, 3 years ago from her miscarriage she never got over. The internet detectives found it in 4 minutes. The post was deleted in 6. By nightfall, both their jobs were officially gone. Ryan's company released a statement, "We do not condone the values displayed." Sophia's boutique landlord changed the locks. I made chamomile tea and sat on the patio Dad and I used to share. I raised the cup to the sky. 1 month down, 5 to go. Somewhere across town, 2 people were learning what it feels like to lose everything slowly, piece by piece. The way I did the day I heard my own son laugh about my death. I sipped my tea. It tasted like peace.
6 months later, I woke up to rain against the windows and the smell of fresh coffee. My coffee, my house, my life. The dog, a gray rescue mutt I named Justice, snored at the foot of the bed. The walls were now soft cream instead of the cold white Sophia had chosen. Every trace of them was gone. I padded to the kitchen in socks and Dad's old robe. On the counter sat a plain white envelope that arrived yesterday. No return address, just my name in Ryan's handwriting, shaky now. I'd waited until this morning to open it. I slit it with a butter knife and pulled out 3 pages. "Mom, I don't expect you to read this. I don't expect forgiveness. I just need to say it before I disappear for good. We're leaving the country tomorrow. There's nothing left here. No jobs, no friends, no credit. Sophia lost the baby she lied about. The stress, the doctor said. She won't look at me anymore. I replay that barbecue every night. I hear myself laughing like it's someone else. I keep asking how I became that man. I don't have an answer that makes it okay. You raised me better. Dad raised me better. I threw it all away for a house and a woman who never really loved me. I see that now. I sold my wedding ring to buy these plane tickets. One way. I don't even know where we're going yet. I used to dream you'd call. Just once. And then I realized you never will. And that's the punishment that fits. I'm sorry, Mom. Not for getting caught. I'm sorry for the day I stopped being your son. If you're reading this, I hope you're happy. I hope you dance in that kitchen and laugh loud and never think of us again. I loved you once. I think some part of me always will. But I killed the part you could love back. Be well, Ryan. The second page was from Sophia. Her handwriting was tiny and perfect even now. Mrs. Carter, I hate you. I hate that you won. I hate that I have nightmares about your face the day you came back from Italy. I hate that you were right about everything. I'm sorry I wished you dead. I wished myself dead every day since, and it hasn't worked either. I don't ask for mercy. I just want you to know the money was never the point. I was scared of being poor again. You made sure I got exactly what I feared. Congratulations, Sophia.
The third page was a single line in Ryan's handwriting again. Tell Justice, I'm glad he has you. I folded the letters, slipped them back into the envelope, and walked to the fireplace, the one Dad built with his own hands. I lit a match. The paper caught fast. Orange and blue flames ate their words, curled them black, turned them to nothing. Justice whined and pressed against my leg. I scratched his ears. It's okay, boy. It's really over now. I made breakfast, took him for a long walk in the rain, came home and baked banana bread because I felt like it. At 3 p.m., Ellen called. They're gone, she said. Boarded a flight to nowhere this morning. Names flagged, debts unpaid, passports marked. They won't be back. I nodded even though she couldn't see. Good. That night, I opened the old photo album, the one that survived the wine. I turned to the picture of Ryan on my chest, age 5, sleeping. I kissed the glass over his little face. Then I closed the album, slid it into a drawer, and shut it forever. I poured one last glass of wine, stepped onto the patio, and looked at the stars. Somewhere far away, 2 people were starting over with nothing. Here, I had everything. I raised my glass to the quiet sky. I'm still alive, and I choose me. The rain had stopped. The air smelled clean. I drank to the woman I used to be, to the woman they tried to kill, and to the woman I became the day I stopped running. Then I went inside, locked the door, turned off the lights, and slept without dreams. Some stories end in fire. Mine ended in morning.
I woke up to silence. For the first time in weeks, no notifications, no ringing phones, just birds outside my window. Then the doorbell rang. 3 hard presses. I opened it in my robe. A sheriff's deputy stood there with an envelope. Mrs. Lena Carter? That's me. You've been served. I took the papers, thanked him, closed the door, and laughed so hard I had to sit on the floor. Ryan and Sophia were suing me for intentional infliction of emotional distress and invasion of privacy. They wanted $10 million and the video taken down. I called Ellen while still on the carpet. "They're suing me," I said, wheezing. Ellen snorted. "Let them. Discovery is going to be beautiful." 2 hours later, I was dressed and driving to the courthouse to file my counterclaim. Defamation, because they told half the city I died of cancer. Fraud, because fake grief, fake tears, fake everything. I asked for every penny they had left and the house they still hadn't paid for. The clerk stamped it with a loud thunk that felt like music. By evening, the news picked it up. Local mother countersues son and daughter-in-law after viral betrayal video. Comments went wild again. "Get them, Queen! Courtroom popcorn ready!" I treated myself to dinner alone at the nice Italian place downtown. The owner recognized me, refused my card, said, "On the house, signora, for justice." I slept like a baby. The next morning, Ryan showed up at 7 a.m. alone. He looked like he hadn't showered in days. Beard patchy, eyes red-shot. He fell to his knees on my porch the second I opened the door. "Mom, please drop the countersuit. We'll drop ours. We'll leave the state. Just make it stop." I leaned against the door frame. "You want mercy?" "Yes," he whispered. I crouched so we were eye level. "Where was my mercy when I stood bleeding behind that hedge holding your childhood pictures in broken glass?" He looked away. I stood up. "Court date is 6 weeks. Bring a toothbrush. Orange suits you." I closed the door. At noon, Sophia tried next. She came with flowers and mascara rivers. "I'm pregnant," the second I opened the door. I stared at her stomach. Flat. "Congratulations," I said. "Tell the baby grandma says hi from the winning side." I shut the door again. That afternoon, Mia sent me a screenshot. Sophia had posted an ultrasound picture on her private Instagram with the caption, "Even monsters can't take this joy from us." Except the ultrasound was dated 2022, 3 years ago from her miscarriage she never got over. The internet detectives found it in 4 minutes. The post was deleted in 6. By nightfall, both their jobs were officially gone. Ryan's company released a statement, "We do not condone the values displayed." Sophia's boutique landlord changed the locks. I made chamomile tea and sat on the patio Dad and I used to share. I raised the cup to the sky. 1 month down, 5 to go. Somewhere across town, 2 people were learning what it feels like to lose everything slowly, piece by piece. The way I did the day I heard my own son laugh about my death. I sipped my tea. It tasted like peace.